you a long life." Then Solomon awoke and realized it had been a dream. He returned to Jerusalem, stood before the ark of the Lord's covenant, and sacrificed burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. Then he gave a feast for all his court. God appeared to Solomon, and even though it was a dream, what God said to Solomon came true. He became the wisest, he became the richest, and he had a long life. These things came true, but Solomon forgot how it all started. It started with God coming to him, saying, "What do you want?" and him saying, "I am a child." We're children. Solomon says, "I'm humble, and I don't know what I need to know. So give me your wisdom." These are not blanks for you to fill out, but let me just ask you to jot down these 4 things on your paper. In humility, we need to, number 1, recognize our need. And this is a principle that applies, of course, not just to people who have children and children who have parents. It applies to every one of us, whether you're single, in a family, or all by yourself. It doesn't really matter. It applies to everybody. We need to recognize our need. Number 2, we need to ask God for wisdom. Then we need to seek it out and live it out. And if I could give you a 6th, I would say, or a 5th, I would say, repeat it. Go back to the beginning. Do it again. Recognize your need. Ask for wisdom. Seek it out. Live it out. And this is the point that I would like to make. Image isn't everything, but the starting point for family success. And this is the starting point for this series, and it's the starting point for you, whether you are in a family yet or single and still hoping one day maybe. The starting point is the wisdom of God. James 1:5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him." King David himself wrote in Psalm 19, "The law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The statutes of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, giving joy to the heart. The commands of the Lord are radiant, giving light to the eyes." You see, what the Bible consistently tells us over and over again is that if we heed these words, life will be rich and free. We will be filled with wisdom. We will be filled with joy. And our families will be healthy and whole if we set ourselves on the wisdom that comes from God. If we were to simply say, "God, I know nothing, you know everything, give me your wisdom," and then seek it out by digging into this book where he has given us all the wisdom he claims we need to know, we would find amazing realities. And we would enter into the kind of health and success that God has prepared for us. And so I want to encourage you and challenge you that for these next 4 weeks, whether you are raising children, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you're trying to figure out all this stuff and what it means for you, this one principle will take you a step further, and I want to challenge you to keep it going all 4 weeks of this series. It goes like this: invest in the internal, and the rest will come. Solomon said, "God, I need your wisdom." God says, "All right, I'll give it to you plus a lot more." Invest in the internal, and the rest will come. Have you ever seen a woman pregnant? Things happen when she's pregnant. There's no more vivid visual imagery or vivid realization of family issues than when a woman is trying to raise a child in her belly. Things happen. Ankles swell. Cheeks get puffy. Waistlines go completely out the window. Wedding rings do not fit anymore. The image is completely messed up. But what's on the inside is becoming beautiful. What's on the inside is flourishing. I talked to a lady once, and she said that she could identify whether or not a woman was going to give birth to a son or a daughter. And it was because that if a woman is giving birth to a son, the woman always looks disheveled and nasty. And if the woman is giving birth to a daughter, she's radiant and glowing. And it's because daughters are just so sweet to the mom, but sons are just terrible. And so that was her theory. That was her assessment to the situation. But the bottom line is, whether you're giving birth to a son or a daughter, the reality is that when a woman is pregnant, her image completely changes, completely goes out the window. She cannot be focused completely on her image and also be caring for that child inside of her. And this is the way it is with you and your families. You cannot deal with the internal stuff in your families if you are worried about the external image. I want to challenge you to do something radical. I want to challenge you to investigate your families, to look at the internal stuff of your families, to say, are there any cancerous things going on in our families? And then to take the bold step of finding someone outside of you who kind of knows this book and is willing to engage with you on it, and you can trust them a little bit, and just share that secret with them. Say, okay, we're in this series called Family Secrets. I'm going to dump one of my secrets on you. And then maybe if you want to, you can dump a secret on me. But we're going to talk about what the Bible has to say about this reality. I want to challenge you and encourage you to deal with the internal stuff so the external stuff can take care of itself. And I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to begin that process. In our bulletins, we've got these little communication cards. And on the back side of it, they are totally blank. That's your journal for today. You can jot down something on that back side of that card. Sort of, what is God doing in your life? What is He teaching you? Maybe you want to do a little bit of evaluation on your family. If you're sitting next to someone in your family, be a little discreet with what you write down. My wife annoys me. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying this is your time to engage with God on what are the internal issues in you, and what are some of the internal issues in your family that you may need to deal with. I want to give you some time, just a moment or two in relative quiet in this place, to jot down some of those thoughts on that card. And then if you want to, I encourage you to put that in the basket, and we will have our prayer team praying for you this week. If you would like prayer today, our prayer team will be right out those back doors over there during our last two songs, and you can head on out there and have them pray for you. But let's enter into a moment of prayer right now, and let me just ask you to bow your heads for a moment as we begin to reflect. God, we admit and we acknowledge that we are children. We have no idea the kind of reality that you have planned for us when it comes to our families. And we need your wisdom. Your word promises us that when we ask for your wisdom, you will give it.